Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have another diamond in the rough for you. His name is Kenneth Merritt. He's a safety out of Fayetteville State. Nice to have you on, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure for the opportunity, man. I appreciate you having me.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems like Fayetteville State actually putting out some decent guys there in the secondary these past few seasons. So, get a chance to meet you. I mean, I know you absolutely knocked your pro day out of the park. We'll try and talk about that also. But before we get there, tell me about you and your story, man, where it first started. Tell me where you're from, and we'll just kind of walk through the rest of it.
I got you. Yeah, like I said, my name is Kenneth Merritt. Born and raised Charlotte, North Carolina. So I guess we could start high school, went to advanced high school, which was changed to Chambers. That's when I really fell in love with the game. Of course, I played, years before that, Little League, Part One, middle school, etc. Then, high school, competition level raises, I just, my love for the game grew, Then from there, I believe Richard Hayes recruited me to college, Fayetteville State head coach. So before you knew it, I went on a visit. I just felt like home. So went to Fayetteville State, played. I don't regret a thing about it. Of course, it's not a big time school, but hey, I love it. And like you said, if you can make it, anyway, as long as you put the work in. So yeah, I'm really, grateful for the opportunity that hey recruited me. Gained plenty of friends, coaches. It's a long list. I can give you plenty of coaches, but yeah, I was pretty good experience, and we was lucky enough to finish off my collegiate career as a CIAA champ. And, I got the opportunity to, like you said, press some of my talents at the pro day. So, the rest is history.
Yeah, so let's go back and kind of chit chat through some of those things. So, first off, you said you're from the Charlotte area there in
Yeah.
North Carolina. That's where you went to high school.
Yes, sir.
So, talk to me about your high school days. I mean, obviously, I introduced you as a safety, but I'm sure at somewhere along the line you might have played some other position, maybe even some other sports. So, why don't we kind of let people know about that background?
Right. So of course, I played DB, right? But actually, came in high school as a receiver. I played receiver for the first 3 years, actually. So then I just switched up to DB that last year. I believe, we had, short on DBs and whatnot. And my head coach just thought I should, give it a try. Also, I also ran track, and I wasn't much of a sprinter, but more of a jumper. So,
Sure.
yeah, I did love it. Long jump and triple jump was my main events. And I miss those events tremendously. I wish my favorite state had a track team, but yeah, that was my two main events.
Well, that's interesting. So, first off, like you had mentioned, I mean, you were receiver first, and then eventually turned into DB.
Hmm.
So, I want to throw something your way, and I don't mean for this to sound like a bad thing, right? So, sometimes coaches end up throwing receivers onto defense because they can't catch. Is that you? Can you be real with me for just 5 seconds?
That wasn't me. No, it wasn't. I was pretty decent. Now I was pretty decent, but now we really had. I think coming in my last year, a lot of dudes graduating about the springtime before the fall season started. Plus with the summer camps and practices. We was a little short on DB, so I guess he wanted me to Mondays be receiver, Tuesday be corner. So it got to the point, man. I just started going to corner twice a day, then 3 times out of the week. It just got so repetitive. I just fell in love with it.
Well, I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's somewhat similar of a position. It's just kind of the mirror opposite, right? Like you're now going literally going backwards.
Right.
And that's really a whole lot more difficult than going forwards. I mean, let's be real. So I mean, your footwork's got to be like got to be on because I mean there are guys sprinting at you like full speed.
Mhm.
And they have an easier way of doing it than the defensive backs that are covering them. So, yeah, I mean, more so, by for the sake of need, is the reason why you ended up going that route and have stayed there ever since. Um,
Mhm.
so, growing up as a guy there in Charlotte, was there maybe a particular player that maybe you strive to be idolized, like we're a fan of? I mean, can you talk to me about you as a fan?
It's tough. Like one, I can really start. My friend group, we really, like, competed with each other. Come to practice every day, trying to make each other better. But a true fan, like if I had to pick one, like someone who I looked up to tremendously, most on the defensive side was probably Ed Reed. I mean, I really admired his game, like just the will to play the game. I always felt like he did it. He played for he played the game of football like he just it was just passion to him, like he just played with passion so much, and he just really enjoyed being there. It's not like he was there dragging on the practice, like everything he did, he took the initiative, like I didn't have to be here today, I'm going to give him my all. So that's really somebody I really looked up to, growing up, of course.
Yeah, I mean, and who else are you going to look up to? So, I mean, he was one of the best guys to do it, during his time. So, typically during his time, it was either Ed Reed or Palomalu. Like,
Yeah.
flip a freaking coin. Both of them are awesome. So,
Yeah.
um, anyhow, you had also mentioned that you did some track, specifically that as a jumper.
Mhm.
How do you feel that helped you and helped your development as a football player? Did it help you develop better as a football player or what?
Definitely, like, of course, football is more of an explosion, type of sport. Like, you need your legs, more than anything. I really think that, for jumping, 4 years plus, like, really helped with my explosiveness, of course, like, building a good foundation within my legs, so over time, like, I just kept building that explosiveness to the point, I just pretty, got to the point where I am today. So I think it helped tremendously, tremendously.
Cool. So, do you recall any of those numbers of you like jumping? By the way, I didn't have those in my notes. I mean, what was your best when you were in high school?
Long jump, I want to say 22 feet 2 inches. I want to say, and triple jump I actually broke the school record with 46 feet 6 inches. I want to say, yeah.
Wow, both
Uh,
those are actually pretty good numbers. So I mean,
uh,
you got to hang your hat on that, especially if you still have that record there. I mean, I know it's been a few years, so I mean, I'm assuming that record's still, you know, still in the record books there, right?
no, actually, the next 2 years, my brother broke it about like
Okay.
another
Well, I mean, with it
block.
being your brother, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That that
that.
that's all right. We'll give him that one at least for right now. So,
Yeah.
um, at any event, you made your way to Fayetteville State. Um,
Mhm.
and so let's talk about you as a student, man. I mean, when you come there to Fayetteville State, what makes Fayetteville State so great for you? What makes it special?
Of course, they would say the campus isn't, but so big. So, classes might get a max size of 30, 40 people, like, no more than that. So I feel like last time, so when, in class, my average class size was between probably 15, 20 people at the most, 25. So I really felt like, class with my professors, like they really were, hands on with you. Like, if you needed help, it could reach out to them at any time. I really felt like, they really want to help us, want the best for us. So I feel like that was the biggest asset. I feel was actually like just the family atmosphere, like saying like, there was no student left behind. Like it was never a time you could go to class and you just feel like the professor wasn't there for you or didn't want to help you. Like, no, I feel like that was the biggest asset. That's why I'm really glad I chose Fayetteville State University.
Great. So, talking once again about you as a student, tell me what you study during your time there? I mean, did you finish up? I mean, do you got your degree? What's up?
I got you. So actually, yes, I did graduate with a degree in banking and finance. So it's pretty decent. I'm also actually in grad school now. Finishing up grad school this semester. So yeah, I was going pretty well. My grad school majors in finance as well. So it was really I'm kind of a money type person. I love working around in that field. So yeah, I kind of numbers just really come easy to me, man. So
Okay.
of course, my mom was actually a banker, so she really got me into it when I was kind of a teenager-ish. She really introduced me to it. So when I got to college, she said, "Hey, why not study this?" And then before you knew it, it just came to me real easy. So yes, sir.
So you see yourself kind of going in that route? Like, I mean, once your football days are done, I mean, do you see yourself pursuing that even more so?
Definitely, like I even had a couple internships, throughout. I even worked at the bank, for internship for at least 6+ months, because of course, I want to play football, but after, like, once I'm retired or whatnot from the game, of course, I'm into that field, maybe be a financial advisor or, a financial analyst, something in that area. So yes, sir.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, I mean, at the very least, being able to say, "Hey, mom, I got this degree, and I'll be able to use it." I mean, I'm pretty sure you make, your parents proud. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's turn ourselves back to football. Obviously, like you said, I mean, you want to be able to hopefully get an opportunity to play in the NFL.
Mhm.
And so, let's talk about how you were utilized there at Fayetteville State. I mean, again, I had introduced you as a safety, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of ways that could be seen. So,
Right.
talk to me about that defense overall, and just kind of how you were used.
So mainly coming in, I believe I was strong safety, but actually I was really tossed between strong and free literally throughout all my years at Favorite State. So just depending on the game plan, they need to be like, rolling down. It was more of a run heavy team. So I might have to roll down, take strong safety that week, help stop the run. I was like a pass set team. I just moved to free safety, and just make sure everything is covered up top. So I really was pretty interchangeable, so I didn't really have a preference. I just love being back there, honestly. So yeah, I played so strong and free throughout my years.
Okay, so what do you love doing more? Do you love laying a hit on somebody? You love getting that PBU?
Man,
That's
PBU is tough, but interception PBU is nice, but I'm more of a downhill, like TFL type of person. But no, PBUs and picks, oh trust me, I love those too. But if I had to pick downhill running, trying
okay.
to
Okay, so
yeah.
more or less, I guess what I was trying to get at least mindset wise is this is
Mhm.
a guy who at least I don't know. I'm looking at you as more of a box safety kind of guy who then
Right,
can also work as free safety. So, I mean, I don't know,
right,
like percentage wise, like where you lined up at, but maybe a little bit of flexibility there. So,
right, right.
um, for you as a prospect, I mean, again, just kind of talking about that sort of thing. What do you feel separates you from a lot of people out there?
We at the stage now. Everybody can run, jump, pass, etc. But I feel like I'm truly a student of the game. I'm going to get that extra edge over my opponent week in, week out by watching film alone. Trying to understand his weaknesses. I mean, the weaknesses, their strengths, even their tendencies. Really trying to break down the opponent. Even sometimes knowing the opponent better than they know themselves. Sometimes, I might know something about them that they might even notice. I really hang myself on that. So I feel like watching film, you really getting that extra edge. Really can make a difference between winning and losing ball games.
Okay, Kenny, I'm going to ask you a hard question. So go ahead and get ready for this one. So, um, biggest knock people give on small school guys, which they have absolutely no control over, is the fact that you're a small school guy.
Uh,
How do you respond to that?
I mean, I get it. Power five, D2 is a difference. But if you come down, we're athletes just like anybody else is in the country. As you can see, but slowly making a difference now. Guys from D2, HBCUs that they getting drafted. So I think we're really showing that we can play with anybody. It doesn't matter where you're from. Of course, like everybody can get the opportunity to get that offer that they wanted to at a high school, but still, if you can play football, you can play football. Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good, guys are gonna find you, man. Like that's just how it works. I mean, but let's take a moment and talk about those dudes there at Fayetteville State because I mean, there's a lot of good talent that's coming out of that program here recently. Um, who name a couple guys there at Fayetteville that people need to know?
Currently, it was so of course, we can start with Joshua Williams, who was drafted last year. Then now somebody who's coming out with me, my teammate Brandon Barnes Brown. But to guys who they need to look out for next year, of course, my brother Kobe Merritt, Gerald Simpson, he's an awesome linebacker. Tyler Fleming, he's a tremendous athlete. I can go on. Tyron Belcher, he's a pretty decent corner. I can go on and on, but yeah, those main guys I say, really will have a good step coming out next year.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of great talent at the HBCU level, even at Fayetteville State, which is Division two. Even still, you guys have a lot of great talent there. And I
Right.
know you yourself were able to participate in the HBCU Pigskin Showdown.
Mhm.
which is obviously just an HBCU event to give guys like you a chance to come out and play football again.
Right.
So, how did that event go for you?
I mean, it was pretty cool. Like, my first time, practicing from the scouts, getting that experience. So, we was really grateful for that experience, because not everybody, get a chance to, show what you can do from the scouts. So it was pretty surreal, man. Got to talk to a couple teams there. It was pretty cool. We had a pretty good week. I was blessed for the opportunity, man, because, not everybody could have been there. So, we were just happy to be there. And plus, got a chance to play on, like, national TV. So, yeah, it was a pretty good experience.
All right. So, you said that you talked to some teams. I don't necessarily need to know their names, but give me a
Mhm.
ballpark, man. I mean, how many teams you feel like you talked to?
At that specific bowl game, it was three. Like, before we got to practice, just sat down, talked to them. They just want to get to know me, what type of person I am, character wise, football wise, etc.
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously we're doing a little bit of that here now. So, I mean,
Mhm.
hopefully, this interview will help, get you in everyone else's radar, not just those three guys. But Kenneth, also you put together really a solid pro day, man. I mean, you can't ask too much more for you that you were able to accomplish. So I do want to kind of run down some of these numbers real quick that at least I have in my notes.
Mhm.
If they're wrong, I apologize. I got them from somebody else.
I
So
got you.
if they're wrong, we'll fix it and we'll let everybody know what you actually ran. But a 4.4440, which is certainly very respectable time.
Yes, sir.
A 10.9 broad jump,
Mhm.
39-inch vertical, and
Mhm.
you're able to pump out 15 reps of 225, which I think is also a really good number. So, um, first off, some really good numbers, man, by the way.
Mhm.
So congrats on in that regard. But
Thank you.
how did you get there? How do you feel like I mean, how did you get to, be able to do these numbers at your combine, at your pro day?
I got you. Yeah, so actually, I was in Miami, Florida, training for a couple months at this facility called Bommarito's. I don't know if you heard of it, but they really, had me to where I am today. Like, they really, really detailed facility, like, focus on the little things, explosion, 40 time quickness, you name it, we did it. So, Bommarito's, they really, got me right, man.
All right, cool. So, obviously, you run and jump like that. I mean, you're bound to gain a lot of attention from people. Um,
Hmm.
did that performance there, did it kind of help you even more so? I mean, did you get any more exposure, some more, interviews from scouts and all after that?
I did. So yeah. After that, a couple days after that, a couple teams, reached out to me, myself, to get to know me. And some teams didn't even call me. They just, reached out to my coaches, trying to figure out what type of player I am, what type of player I am. Saying I had a pretty decent pro day. How was I at Fayetteville State, et cetera. So yeah, it really did help me out a lot.
So, things are looking in the right direction right now for you, Kenneth. So like put together some good time there at Fayetteville State. You
Hmm.
you show up at the Pigskin classic there, and after
Yep.
that completely knock your pro day out of the park. And honestly, right now you're in the position where you are a legitimate NFL prospect.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Looking at that as it is, um,
Hmm.
have you been able to really wrap your mind around the fact that you are an NFL prospect? I mean, how do you respond to that?
I mean, everything's happening so fast, because it's like yesterday I was just lining down for Fayetteville State trying to get ready for a game on Saturday. So everything happened real fast. But slowly, like, I'm really taking time, like, to think about it. Like, wow, it's been a long journey to get here. I'm truly grateful for everybody that had me along the way. But of course, like, the show doesn't stop here. But yeah, it's a surreal moment, man. 'Cause, you dream of this moment just to be a prospect as a kid. So I'm truly blessed to be here. But like I said, the show doesn't stop here.
Yeah, so let's reflect just a little bit about your time at Fayetteville State. Like when you look
Mhm.
at all the games that you were a part of, all those rivalries, great moments. Um,
Yeah.
Give me maybe your own personal like best highlight. Whether it be like an interception, you tackle somebody in the backfield or whatever. But walk me through one of those moments for you.
Man, the best probably have to be for me. It'll be this past season, Fayetteville State when we played Winston-Salem State, the last regular season game, big time rivalry.
Mhm.
And I know we pretty much had like the South locked up. So the way the Saturday works, it's the North versus South in the Saturday championship game. So we pretty much had it locked up. We just had to win out. Basically, so on that last game versus Winston-Salem State, it was a low score game. I believe the NSO was 14-6. I just know Winston had the ball with like maybe a minute some change left, maybe like if they drive down the score go two, if they drive down the score go two, the game's tied up. We didn't want that. So all I remember is maybe first second down, quarterback threw the ball, receiver tipped it, and I just picked it, caught it, slid for the knee. Now I just remember that feeling, saying like, "Hey, we're going back for the championship one last time." I'd seen my teammates, my coaches, the fans. Everybody was in excitement, saying like, "Hey, we get one more shot at this championship run, man." So I think that was my number one experience.
Yeah, I mean, Fayetteville State's been pretty consistent in that regard too. I mean, you guys are, always in that title picture anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Winning the CIAA. So, um, who's to say they can't do it once again next year? So,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
it'll be interesting to see where the program goes from here on out. But, Kenneth, let's talk about something that's not football for like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about you that you feel people need to know, whether it be your hobbies, your interests, or anything else you got going on in your life? I mean, talk about something for a little bit that's not football.
I got so me. I'm a laid back, type person. I like to chill, watch movies, like to travel every now and then. I'm also a little bit of country, so I might go fishing, every now and then stuff like that. Like yeah, different type of things. I like different cars. I'm kind of a car person. So I was like, Saturday we have nothing to do. That's what I like to do. From that time between movies, travel, go fishing, like maybe go to a car show. That's stuff like that.
Cool. So let me piggyback off of that a little bit with a couple quick questions. Favorite dream car?
Oh my god. All black Challenger, of course. SRT, inside I could paint it with a little star roof ceilings. Yeah, that'd be nice. Then different color brakes, all black interior. Trust me, I have it mapped out in my head. Trust me.
Well, we'll
Yes,
see if you're able to get there here soon.
yes,
You had mentioned, you know, like to sit back, relax, and watch some movies. Give me a couple of your favorite movies, maybe even a movie quote.
no questions, Bad Boys. Every last one of them. Like I can watch. I can tell you probably like half the lines. So every single movie. I guess I'm more of an action type of movie person. Now, a quote. I might not have a favorite quote, but that is my favorite movie.
Well, I mean, those two guys that are in that movie, though, man, like they're fun. Like they
Yeah.
they they go well with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, I think, they're the two
Yes.
guys in there. So a lot of I don't know. The interactions between those two guys are great. I mean, I love them. So, anyway, so once again, Charlotte guy, what's so special about your hometown for you?
Charlotte, I say you get the best of both worlds. You can get the city life, country life. You get traffic sometimes, or you might end up in the back road. I feel like you get the best of both worlds in Charlotte. Plus, we're not too far from the beach, which is a good thing. The mountains, Appalachian Mountains, are not too far from here, so you really can get the feel of everything. It gets hot, and sometimes they can get cold too. So I feel like Charlotte, you get the best of both worlds, man. So yeah, I like it here for the most part. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I don't know if maybe like you'll end up with like I don't know the Panthers or something. I mean, you could still stay around. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't
Um,
complain at
uh,
all.
all right. Well, obviously, that would be an awesome opportunity for you. But Kenneth, I mean, I know that your goal is to get into the league regardless where. So as we wind down our interview, I
Mhm.
want to give you a chance to talk to the rest of them scouts out there, man. I mean, tell them why they need to take a chance on you, sign you, draft you, bring you into their franchise. And so go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
I got you. So, like I said, of course, I'm not at the biggest school in the country, but like I said, I'm a detailed football player. I'm going to understand my opponent more than they know themselves, week in and week out. I want to watch film, and my main thing I hang my hat on is being consistency. Of course, in the NFL, if you're gonna play for a long time, you have to be consistent at what you do, and that's really what I hang my hat on. That's what watching film so much comes from. Being consistent, like you're doing the week in and week out. Because a lot of people, they can't, handle the longevity of doing the same thing, over and over again. Because it takes time like the greats, Tom Brady, Ed Reed, like I mentioned before, they doing it for so many years, Ray Lewis, like they've been doing the same thing for 20 plus years in the league. So it's like it's really hard. So I really hang my hat on being consistent and understanding my opponent watching film. That's what I get my extra edge from.
Yeah, and obviously you're a really good athlete, man. I mean, you're able to go out there, play in the box, also playing
Mhm.
having the ability to play some free safety too. And you offer a lot, like you had mentioned. I mean, you come from a winning program, so you already have the idea of like what it takes to succeed, what you got
Right,
to do day in and day out in order for you to be successful.
right,
So I feel like you're going to be able to carry that on with you as you pursue the pros. So uh,
sir.
do wish you very best of luck in this process. All right, sir?
Sir, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. Once again, Kenneth Merritt, he's a safety out of Fayetteville State. Check this guy out.
Yes, sir.